Omo, go Super Eagles, go Nigeria. We are done with the Super Eagles' first part of their Operation 6 point journey of their 2026 Crucial World Cup qualifiers, spread across the months of September. We are left with the Bafana of South Africa. And come what may, on the 9th of September 2025, we are going to defeat the Bafana of South Africa. I'm going to share my candid opinion as a Ghanaian who has declared his full support for Nigeria sports in the game against the Mavubi of Rwanda today. Before that, if you are new on this platform, let's do it together quickly. Subscribe to the channel, hit on the post notification bell for more updates. Let's show love for the Super Eagles by liking this video and sharing to other social media platforms. As usual, my name still remains Solomon Kodja Asante, your only nomenclature with engineer's philosophy in sports. I've been given a Nigerian name on this platform as the only one, Solomon Chuku Emeka. Please leave your decent comments and share your candid opinion about today's game for the Super Eagles against the Mavubi of Rwanda in the comments box. Subsequently, I'll be giving you special shoutouts. Ladies and gentlemen, straightforward, let's get into the video. And let's talk about today's game. It was the Super Eagles through Tolu Arokodare 1, the Amavubi of Rwanda 0. And the goal happened on the 51st minutes of the full 90 minutes. And a lot of people are talking about. And per my opinion, I'm going to talk right from the starts of the game to the end of the game. And before the game, let's look at some talking points. And some of the talking points for the Super Eagles were right from some changes in the lineup. But before that, let's check out the lineup from Eric Sekuchel for the Super Eagles against the Amavubi of Rwanda. Stanley Nwabali, experienced indeed, was between the sticks for the Super Eagles. Bruno Onyemaechi played as a left back with Ola Aina as a right back. Center pair, new boy Benjamin Fredericks with Calvin Bassey. In the midfield, we had the workaholic midfielder Wilfred Ndidi and the creative midfielder Alice Iwobi. At the attacking midfield position, we had Ademola Lookman. And at the left wings, we had Moses Simon. Right wings, we had Frank Onyeka. And up front, the man who led the attack was Victor Osimhen, but he got injured before the first half and was being replaced by Seo Deses. Tolu Arokodare also came in for Frank Onyeka. We saw the likes of Bryce Osai Samuel, William Truss Incon, and others who were being substituted into the game. And indeed, it was an eye-candy match for the Super Eagles and Nigerian football fraternity, and it was a highly contested game as well. And when you look at the lineup, first and foremost, you could see that, to me, my side of view, I got to know that it was very surprising starting Benjamin Fredericks ahead of experienced and Capitano William Truss Incon. But indeed, Omo, the guy has proven to me that he is a center-back, a young center-back who is now reliable for the Super Eagles defense. I've already spoken about players who are in their twilight football career for the Super Eagles in terms of the defense. And this newcomer has shown that he didn't just do it during the 2025 Unity Cup tournament. He was part of the Super Eagles players who played with maturity, tactical discipline on the field of play during the 2025 Unity Cup tournament. And today, he has replicated that for the Super Eagles against the Amavubi of Rwanda. And I have to applaud him for his good works at the back lines for the Super Eagles. He played with that kind of composure, with that kind of strong tackling in terms of 1v1 occasions, and he really did tremendously for the Super Eagles against the Amavubi of Rwanda. I'm talking about Benjamin Fredericks. Aside that, Eric Sekuchel dished the 4-4-2 diamond formation now to the 4-2-3-1 and to the 4-4-3 system. Before the game, I spoke about him that going into this game, he said he's not a slave to the diamond formation. He can just come in with any other formation of his. And this time around, he proved that he can do that, just changing players to different positions. The likes of Ademola Lookman playing as an attacking midfielder. That's what I saw. And with Frank Onyeka playing as a right winger. And you could see during the first half, Nigerians weren't operating through the right flanks, but it got to a time they were just dominating through the right flanks. And that was it from the Super Eagles of Nigeria's lineup. And Ademola Lookman starting the game was also a big surprise to me as well, because I really didn't decipher how he could start ahead of some players, but the coach knew what he was going to use him for in the game. Going into the game, he didn't have that much fitness, but he played to the maximum satisfaction of Nigerians, and you are okay with his performance. What we needed was the goal and a victory for the Super Eagles in order to breathe life into their 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And indeed, the guys have done that. We have to applaud them for their good work. They really played well today for the whole Nigerian football fraternity, for the presidents of the states, for the head coach, and to everyone who loves football in the world. And that is it from the players. Now let's talk about during and after the game. I have 3 points to talk from the Super Eagles team. Talking of the super sub impact of the game, this underscored the importance of the Super Eagles strengths in the bench, because we saw Tolu Alkodari, who had the only goal for the Super Eagles, who was being introduced in the second half, who had the first goal and the only goal for the Super Eagles in the game. He did well with that overhead goal for the Super Eagles. What a player. I know subsequently we have to fit him in the system so that he could benefit more of that player, and everything will be fine for the Super Eagles. Looking at his physique on the field of play, he's very dangerous moving forward. Anytime he presses forward, you could see that something dangerous is about to happen. And I really appreciate his efforts on the field of play. We saw the likes of Cyril Desses. He scored about 1-2 chances, of which I wasn't happy with how he played for the Super Eagles against the Amavubi of Rwanda. He did his best as a substitute, but to my liking, what I know and who I know him to be wasn't what and where he was able to play perfectly to the satisfaction of me. And going forward, I think he has to do 1 or 2 changes in his career so that he can just be fit well in the Super Eagles system. So that is it about their substitution. Now let's talk about how tight controlling they were in the game, but they had a slim edge. This tells us how dominant the Amavubi of Rwanda defense were against the Super Eagles. They tried their best, penetrating, moving out front, tackling, dazzling, swashbuckling, crosses, all the teasing crossing and whatever it is went through the 18 balls of the Amavubi of Rwanda. But at the end, it didn't materialize. We only had 1 goal through the efforts of Bruno Minyomechi. I have to compliment him for his action. He did well, dazzling, taking on Amavubi defenders. He sent in crossing, a low one indeed, and it was really perfectly slotted home by Tolu Arokodari. And that is that from the Super Eagles team. The last point to talk about, and also highlights more about qualification clarity. Before the game, I spoke about how the Super Eagles can make it to the 2026 World Cup tournaments. They needed to win the game. It was a must-win game for them in order to either narrow the gap against the Bafana, but indeed Bafana also won, or just to keep the gap, and they've kept the gap in that perfect mood. That is going to help them in the game against the leaders, South Africa. They are now falling 6 points to the leaders, South Africa, and they have to move on perfectly for that. With us, and on that note, let's check out the positionings based on the leg log for Group C in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers in Africa. South Africa is leading with 16 points plus 8 goals. Benin, 11 points, no goal. With Nigeria, 10 points, 2 goals, plus 2 goals, yes. Rwanda, 8 points, minus a goal. Lesotho, 6 points, minus 4 goals. Zimbabwe, 4 points, minus 5 goals. 3 matches to go. Can the Super Eagles, a question of the day, you have to share your opinion in the comment box, qualify for the 2026 World Cup tournament in the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico? They have to try, fire on all cylinders. This is a must-win game against the Bafana of South Africa on the 9th, coming Tuesday at Bloemfontein Free State Stadium in South Africa. They have to do it because all the countries, other ones, are showing impressive performances. And whatever it is, Super Eagles have to qualify for the 2026 World Cup tournament. I know hopes are not in that right manner from some of the fans, but it's football. Anything can happen. Aside we playing on the field, we have other legal issues to battle against South Africa. That's maybe point docking will happen for the Super Eagles to pass their way out. And for them to do that, what they have to do and the mentality now for the team and the players is that we have to win all the remaining matches. Who knows? They might even be one of the best second place teams who might compete in Africa and go in for other intercontinental contests in order to try as they can make it to the 2026 World Cup tournament. Lest I forget, this is a quick development on Victor Osimhen'S injury. According to the head coach, Eric Sequichel, Osimhen has experienced pain in his ankle. We will check his condition tomorrow. So this is the latest coming from Victor Osimhen'S camp as to whether he will be fit for the next game against South Africa. It remains to be seen how his situation will develop in the coming days. And that is that from his camp. And that is that. I've shared my opinion. I know I didn't take individual play as to how to rate the players, but I've spoken voluminously as to how these players did their best for the Super Eagles against the Bafana. I will come in again with all the authentic fellas coming in from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I was being supported by my hardworking chief editor, Emmanuel Kwame Asiedu. Subsequently, I will give you shout outs. Let's meet in the next one. It's bye for now.